One of the frequently asked questions I get from clients is, how do I get my UCI number? I used an agent to submit my application and I do not have access to my GCKey or my application documents. Now, first of all, using an unauthorized agent to submit your application could lead to misrepresentation findings and a 5-year ban. You can submit your applications yourself or retain the services of authorized representatives. Now, watch this video till the end to see how you can get the complete documents for your application using what is called the Access to Information and Privacy request. Tag a friend who needs to see this. This is how to make a request for your application documents using the Access to Information and Privacy online requests. So we search for ATIP request. The particular one we are looking for is this, Access to Information and Privacy online request. So this request can be used by Canadian citizens, permanent residents, foreign nationals inside or outside Canada, right? So any one of the listed, it can also be used by organizations or companies to request for your documents from IRCC. So where we're requesting for is submitting a request for information with IRCC. Okay, it's still taking me back to the same page. Let me see. Okay, so here we are. So here is just a brief information on different links in case you're looking for how to check for your application update, status of your applications and all that. You can use any of these links to see how it applies to you. So this ATIP request can be used for the following things, right? You can use it to find out the status of your immigration applications. You can use it to get what is most commonly known as your GCMS notes. That's the reasons for your refusal from IRCC. You can use it to get your landing records, other information about your immigration or citizenship application, your passport information. So this page just provides a list of what you can use it to do. This is where we'll be going, application or personal information. So what you need to do is fill out your application. So here you can see it says to be eligible, you must be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident of Canada, an individual or corporation currently present in Canada. All individuals are able to make a request under the Privacy Act only. So only Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and individuals or corporations in Canada can make a request using the Access to Information Act. If you are a foreign national outside of Canada, you can only use the Privacy Act. So let's get started. So for the purpose of this request, I'm just going to use foreign national outside of Canada. But either way is going to be the same. Like I said, all these other individuals are able to make a request either using the Access to Information or the Privacy Act. Now, the difference between the two actually is the Access to Information Act will cost you $5 for the request, while the Privacy Act is free, right? So foreign nationals, if you're using foreign national outside of Canada under the Privacy Act, which is the only option available to you, you wouldn't be making any payment, while for all other people using Access to Information Act in Canada will have to pay the $5 if they want to use that option. So let's use this so that we'll have an idea of how it works. So you fill out your information as accurately as possible. So even though I use foreign national outside of Canada, I'm going to be using a Canadian address because I don't have an address outside of Canada. So just fill in your details, city, your postal code, which may not be applicable to some individuals outside of Canada. And then your email address. So this is the email where you would want to receive the report. So make sure you use an email that you have access to, right? Because this is where the report is going to be sent to. So this request can also be used. You can use it to request on behalf of someone, right? So if you are requesting on behalf of someone, you need to get them to fill what is called a consent form, right? You can find a consent form here. If the request you are making or the application you need the documents for included your spouse or children who are 16 years of age or older, you need to get each of them, right, to fill out and sign this consent form. Now, the consent form, let me just show you what the consent form looks like. So to describe member of public. So when filling out any of these forms, if there is any field you do not understand, there's always this help button here. You can click on it to find out description of, what is listed here. So member of public, this category captures all other members of the public who require information for their own purposes, right? So just so that you are clear on what you are choosing. How would you like it requested? Email, continue. So since I picked, okay, there's a field which I left out, which is information. So if there's any field that wasn't properly filled, you will always get, this kind of red button up here, and you go back and correct that particular field. So let's continue. So like I said, right, foreign nationals outside of Canada only have the option to use the Privacy Act. If I picked foreign national inside Canada or Canadian citizen or permanent resident, it would have given me both options, right? But foreign nationals only have the option for the Privacy Act. So I'll pick English here, continue. Type of records, immigration application records, which program. So you have to select the program you submitted your application under. It has a whole bunch of details here. If it's permanent residency, temporary residence, study permit, visitors visa, work permit. I'm just gonna pick visitor permit for this one. So this is really where, you make the differentiation, right, when making this request. Now, for this particular option, status update of file including officer's notes, right? This is usually used when you want to find out where your application is, the stage where your application is. You want to get an update in your application, right? That is when you use this. Now, the application supporting documents and correspondences, this is when you want to get all the documents that were submitted for your application, right? That is when you use this option, right? Then reasons for refusal, this is when you want to get your GCMS notes, right? When you have a refusal on your application and you want to get detailed reasons for your refusal and the officer's notes, that is when you use this. So we're going to select this. So you can see that this request can be used for 3 different things, right? So, but this is what we're trying to do here, the application supporting document. Now for file number, right? Ordinarily, if you had access to your documents, you should have your file number, right? But because you do not have access to your GCKey, you do not have access to your correspondences received from IRCC, right? So file numbers are usually 9 digits. So you can just fill in 9 zeros here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? We'll just fill in 9 digits here for the file number. So requesting information for. So not to be confused, right? You know, earlier on in the beginning, I imputed my name, right? And I said I was requesting on my behalf, right? So here I'm still going to put in my name. If at the beginning I put in my name and I said I was requesting on behalf of someone, at this particular point, this is where you put in the person's information, right? But because I'm requesting for myself, I'm still going to put in my information here. So just type in your information. Just going to put date of birth here. Right? So you are also supposed to include your UCI number. Now, it has already given us a format of what the UCI number looks like. This is typically the pattern that is on most forms. So because you also do not have your UCI number, you can just impute zeros equivalent to, you know, the number for the UCI, just exactly as it is here, but just impute zeros there, right? Because you do not have access to your forms. So this is just saying you should review. So now inquiry, I would like to request application documents for my visitor visa application. So basically you just put in a small note with details, right, of you know, what you're requesting for. So here is just prompting to let you know if there were other individuals listed on your application, you need to include the consent form like I showed earlier. So there's the option for you to attach other documents, right? For instance, this is where you would attach the consent form if you have it filled. You have the option to attach up to 5 documents. And because you do not have access to your UCI number and your file number, and there isn't really much information on your application, it's advisable to also upload a copy of the international passport you use for the application. So this is where you would put that as well, label them properly and upload. Then you would have a summary, right, of your application. Look over your details, make sure it's correct, make sure your address is correct, your phone number, you know, email most importantly, right? Make sure all the fields you filled are correct, right? And then if you have any other adjustments to make, you can go back and make the adjustments. Once you're sure everything is correct and up to date, you can click on certify, continue, and then you can submit. I hope this video was able to help you through. Let me know if you have any comments or questions in the chat box, and tag a friend who needs to see this video. Thank you.